Yo guys, welcome back to the 1975 Chevy C10 build. Today we are going to be doing a lot of stuff with the cab and the cab work, and we're also going to be doing some painting and washing on the frame to make sure that the frame is good and clean. We want to make sure that we get a lot of work done today. We got a lot to do, so let's get into it. I'm going to use this drill with the wire brush to get up in these spots where we can't really get it clean. Alright guys, so we just finished spraying the bottom of this cab down and everything. It's nice and clean. Make sure that everything is welded up, no water can get through, and it looks 100 times better than it did. But now it's time to take off the cab, take this off, and put this one onto that one. We are actually going to scrap this cab, so standing on it should be fine. Got the cab up, and now we're trying to push this out. So here it is. This is the frame and the engine all out of the garage with the cab up in the air. And this thing, all it needs is basically a steering wheel and a gearbox, and we'll be all set and ready. That'd be fun. With this being light with a V8, man, that thing would probably be going like 120 miles an hour. But anyway, we got to swap those out, and we got to get that out of the garage and put that in over there, then to be able to put it back on here. But we might be able to clean this part of the frame off with like a pressure washer or something and just clean it all up, make it look good as the rest of it. So since these cabs were originally meant for automatic transmissions, we're going to have to cut a square into the new cab that we got so that we could be able to put the gear shifter through the hole for our transmission. Got this thing back up here, and we're going to scrap it later on. Okay, so we just finished painting the front of this cab where the engine bay is going to be, and we use this kind of paint. It's pretty good. The results are better than I actually thought they were going to be. It's nice and smooth, but look how good it actually looks. It was now time to start cleaning the frame up, so we wanted to go ahead and sand all the rust and dirt off of it. Then we went ahead and went over it with bed liner to make sure that the water and runoff just run off to the frame, preventing future rust. So now we got the bed liner. So now we have to spray it after we sanded everything and wire brushed it. Alright, so that's what it looks like after it's been painted. It looks 100 times better than it did, because you could compare it to that side that we have not done yet, and it looks so much better. Now it's time to do this side. Alright, so I just finished painting this side as well, and it's looking just as good as the other side. Really good. It was now time to get the gas tank back on so we could prepare to put the cab back onto the frame. Finally got the gas tank in and everything is now finished. Now we need to add that part on later on, that hose. The original core support was so rusted out that we actually had to get the other one, and so I started out by taking everything apart. Okay, so now it's time to get on to this front part of the truck. See, we got this one, but it's actually rusted out down here. So we went ahead and got this one, which is not as bad. See, there's no rust down here. But now it's time to have to take everything off of it and gotta clean it all up. Now it's time to take off this. I'm halfway done getting this tank off, as you can see, but it's just this one screw here that's kind of messing me up right now. Wonder if I could get this down here. Nope, still too tight, man. There. Oh. Alright, so that's all of the things that are on the back of this I just took off. Now it's time to get the chrome on the other side. We're gonna save this part right here. Yeah, we're gonna save this part and reuse it. Okay, so after I finished getting all that off, it's now time to wash both sides of this so that we could get all the PB blaster off from trying to eat the rust off the screws. And so we gotta clean that off both sides, and to let it dry, then we can start sanding and whatever we have to. And I just now realized these lights are actually waterproof somewhat, and they actually have to be clean. You can see how dirty they are. It's not picking up on camera, but they're dirty. So we poured the rest of the degreaser that we had. And I started to squirt down the core support with water. So now it was time to start sanding this down and get it ready for paint. Alright, so before we paint this, we're going to have to cover up the lights like this with the plastic bags on both of them to prevent paint from getting on the headlights. We're actually planning on primering this first, make sure it's all smoothed out. We're still sanding it, but then we're going to go back over it with some paint. And the thing is that this sticker right here doesn't match up with this truck, because this is the OEM and this is all the sticker it is. This sticker has stuff that this truck doesn't have, and it's bigger too. We need to go get some more black paint. We ran out. Let's go and get some. It wasn't as good as last time's, but it's still pretty cool. So we finally got this bracket in. So the latch is different on the other one. The latch was actually straight down. This one curves off to the side. And this bracket is actually made for the curved side. So I got this piece here and it's really rusted. So I'm going to use a wired brush and sand it down. Hopefully get most, if not all, of the rust off. So let's get into it. Now it's time to paint these pieces. We're gonna go paint them. Put it right in there. So we got all the radiator supports in. We got the bracket in, these brackets, and all this has been painted black. And it looks 100 times better than it did. You can't even tell that it was rusty or anything. Now it's time for us to get the radiator in. And then once the radiator is in, it would be time to put it back on the truck. But we're probably going to have to take the bumper off first and clean that up. Or we can wait. So we needed to take out the radiator from the original core support so we'd be able to put it onto the newly painted core support. Okay, so we finally got the radiator in. And it's all bolted down, and this thing looks 100 times better. I know I keep saying that, but with the black paint, Usually it's supposed to be painted the same color as the body color, but with the black, it's just going to come off really well, especially up here. I think it looks immaculate. So I got the fan shroud here, and as you can see, it's a little dirty, so I'm going to take some degreaser and some water and clean it all up to get it ready to be put back on the truck. Also, we are not going to be repainting this. We're just going to leave it the same because the paint doesn't need to chip off into the fan that goes into the radiator. Now it's time to put the core support back onto the front of the truck, and it looked amazing. It definitely matched with the front of the cab that we also painted black, but everything turned out perfectly and just the way we wanted it. So we finally got the core support back onto the truck. It's just held in by some screws, but look at that. That is actually nice. Man, that is slick, because the black just goes well and makes it look like really clean on the front. Man, that's insane right there. Alright, so after finishing the core support, we want to switch out this 4-speed transmission into a 3-speed transmission. But in order to do that, the 3-speed signal transmission needs to be rebuilt, because there is a lot of play in the transmission itself and all the bearings and the gears. But this transmission, we do not like that much, because it is mainly for pulling in the first gear. Whereas the 3-speed, you could hold the burnouts longer for first gear. Here is the kit. It comes with gaskets. It comes with new bearings. These transmission, there's only 3 of them. 2 of these, a few of these, and a few of those. So here is the 3-speed Saginaw transmission, and as you can see, we already opened it, and you can see all the bearings and the gears in here. We're gonna have to replace all of them. It has too much play, and then all this should be fine on the outside. Okay. Push it right back out again. It does. Keep telling me it's backwards. Yeah, look at that. See how smooth that is? So I wanted to go ahead and test out the paint on the front grille to see if it'll match up with the truck itself. And with the core support, it looks amazing. But with a new paint color, that's going to be a metallic dark blue, I think it's going to look good. So basically, we're just testing out, see how this grill will look with the black spray paint before we actually sand and paint the whole thing. And honestly, I think it looks pretty good. So far, I think this looks fantastic. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the rest of the build, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Goodbye.